Hello? Hello, whoever's here. Hello? Let me just give it a couple more seconds. You're probably going to hear a lot of noise because I'm going to take you in the kitchen in a little bit because I have to cook supper for my real Mexican. Yep, I got to cook supper for my real Mexican. I don't know how old Carla is, but hi, Diane. Hi, how are you, honey? I don't know how old Carla is, and it doesn't really matter how old she is, but you know, accusing me of being racist, I can have my opinions without being racist. And yes, I was mad when my kids didn't get to go to Head Start and a bunch of illegal kids did. Well, okay, they weren't. You're right, Carla. Those kids were not illegal, but their parents were. Okay, their parents were illegal. The ones that my kids didn't get to go to Head Start because they said I made too much money. So whether you like that or not, and if you think that makes me prejudiced because that made me angry that my kids didn't get to go to Head Start, that's too bad. I don't really care how you feel about that, Carla. And I'm really getting tired of having to defend myself over and over and over again with you, Carla. I mean, I've tried to see. I mean, you and I agree on a lot of stuff, like what parts that I caught of your scope a little bit ago. I agreed with you about almost everything you said about Mexicans. Almost every single thing that you said. You want to know why, Carla? Because I am married to a Mexican and I have Mexican children myself. I've been through. You want to say you have been through stuff? I've been through stuff too because my kids were Mexican. You want to know something that happened to my daughter when she was in like the sixth grade? She was in her, I think, her first year of middle school. I got called to the school because my daughter got in an argument with a white girl. Okay, my daughter got in an argument with a white girl. And I don't know what was said. What do people say when they're in an argument? Oh, they threatened to kick. Actually, I asked the question, did she threaten to hit anyone or threaten to fight? Well, no, but we can't. And here's what I got called to school for because my daughter was a Mexican girl, okay? And I got called to the school because they have been taking classes on gang stuff and what to watch out for and this and that. And because my daughter had the potential, because she was Hispanic, of going into a gang. Okay, so they were watching everything that she was doing very closely, and all the other girls that were Hispanic too, because they knew the signs to look for gang members. Okay, my daughter has never been in a gang, anything close to it. But because she was a Hispanic girl and she got into an argument at school, I got called to the school and she almost got suspended, but I really fought it. I really fought it. And I called the guy out right then and there. I was like, "Are you going to tell me because my daughter is Hispanic that she is going to get suspended from school because she got into an argument?" And the other girl wasn't getting suspended, by the way. Yes. Don't tell me what I know and I don't know because I have seen my husband go through so many things. Okay. I have seen his parents go through a lot of things. I mean, they came over here legally every single time. They came over here legally. We you don't have to sponsor them if they're not going to live here, but do you know how much heck we had to go through to get their vacation visas? I mean, they had to prove they were, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, don't tell me I'm prejudiced because it pissed me off because my kids didn't get to go to Head Start and some illegal kids, well, some kids of illegals, okay? Let me phrase that correctly. Got to go. How is that fair? I mean, yeah, I said that. I said, yeah. What else did you? What else did I say last night about that you want to keep bringing up? Come on in and say stuff over here in the side chat. I'm not going to block you. I know you bitches are watching. I'm pissed now. You know, I don't even talk like this, but it really makes me angry. Call me a racist. Call me prejudiced. Really? I'm a racist and I'm prejudiced. Wow. What else did I say? What else? Somebody, please have the balls to stand up and tell me what else it was that I supposedly said last night. I living in Southern California. Hmm. You know, this is crazy. This is going to probably get me in trouble with someone, but I would never live in California. I would never live in Hawaii. I would never live in a state that costs so much to live there. Like my house that I live in is about, I don't even know. I mean, I'd have to look up uh my last tax assessment, but it goes between 75 and $85,000 is what my the worth of my house is, and that changes year to year. You know, whenever they come out and assess your property, whatever. But my house, my very house, and my very yard would be a couple $1 million in California. That's why I would never live there. But yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the population of Mexicans. It has to do with the cost of living. You know, I I don't even know. We'd live in a little shack for what we our house payment here in Can. I live in Kansas, by the way, and our house payment here is well, that goes up and down too with taxes. It actually went down last year. I started paying almost $50 a month less on my house payment because we had been paying our taxes and insurance and all that kind of stuff goes into an escrow account, you know. And we had been paying too much, they said, for insurance because our insurance went down for whatever reason. Anyway, so my house payment right now, as a matter of fact, I just went and made my house payment today, is only $667 a month. It was 700 and what was I paying before it changed? It changed in June, and I've already forgotten what I was paying. But it was almost $50. I think it was like $50 more a month before. And then they reevaluated our escrow account and decided we were paying too much for insurance. So my house payment went down. Hi, Jan. I'm sorry I didn't see you come in. Hi, Patricia. Hi. Um, But yeah, that makes, and I try, you know, I try. It's like whack-a-mole with Carla. She is just bound and determined that everything about me is wrong. You know, I can be friends with Lindy and I can be friends with other people too. You know, do Lindy and I agree on every single thing in the world? No, we don't. You know, and me not liking Boris has nothing to do with Lindy. I didn't like Boris when Lindy was with Boris. I don't like Boris. I don't care. I don't care who knows it. I don't like him. He's a horrible person. He said horrible things to me. You know, you can't, no, he's a horrible person, period. You just don't go, there's just certain lines you don't cross. I don't care how mad you get with somebody. You know, there's certain lines you don't cross. Like, let's say that you're a husband and a wife and you get mad at your husband and you say, well, you got a little penis. You know, there's just certain lines you just don't cross. You just never say that to a man. You never say to a mother of a dead child anything bad about their child. You just don't do that. You know, and there's just certain lines you just don't cross. There just is. And now I see him doing that very thing to Lindy too. Being just cruel to her about her stepdaughter. It's just unnecessary, and it's just cruel, and it's bad. Half third generation Mexican. At least apologize like Lindy did. Like I said, Diane, though, I did things bad to Lindy too. I mean, I kind of had it coming. No, I didn't. I mean, like I said, but you know what? At the time that I was involved in what was going on with Lindy, that was a horrible thing for any of us to do. I mean, she's to this day never got to grieve her child or her mother, properly. She hasn't. And it's not right. It's not right what I did. It's not right what Lindy did. But you know what? We've forgiven each other because we both did bad things to each other and we both admitted it and went on. You know? Anyway, back to me being prejudiced and my husband being a real Mexican. Are you kidding me right now? Didn't I just not say in my hangout last night that half of what comes out of my mouth is sarcasm? When I said my husband's a real Mexican, I meant he came from Mexico. And it's just, have you ever seen the movie Urban Cowboy when Debbie Deborah Winger goes up to John Travolta and asks him, "Are you a real cowboy?" That's what it means when I say my husband's a real Mexican. It's just, oh my God. It's partially sarcasm and partially an explanation. It's not a serious thing. My God, it doesn't mean you're less of a Mexican, Carla, because I said my husband is a real Mexican. My God, you want to talk about snowflakes? My God, I'm not even a Republican, but this is real snowflake behavior, taking everything and just, oh my gosh, just trying to make it so awful. And what else did I say I was mad about? Oh, and no, I don't agree that we should have to pay teachers to teach our kids another language that we don't speak in our country, or I have a problem with that. If I go to Mexico, I have to speak Spanish, okay? So call me prejudiced if you want to. I told my husband the same damn thing. I've told my mother-in-law the same thing, okay? If that makes me prejudiced, then that makes me prejudiced. But dang it, if we go to another country, and here's what I mean by this, okay? So don't twist my damn words. Here's what I mean by this. If I go to another country, whether it's Mexico, whether it's Germany, whether it's France, wherever the hell another country that I go to, they're not going to speak to me in my language. I have to speak to them in their language. Okay? That's what I mean. And I don't think, I'm already mad, by the way, remember, about my kids not getting to go to Head Start, and twist that and turn that and make that any damn way you want to. But it made me upset. I felt like my kids deserved to go to Head Start too, and they didn't get to go because they said that I made too much money. My husband and I made $16 an hour together. That's not very much money. We hardly had money for groceries at times because we had 4 kids. Dang it. That just makes me so dang mad. Just cherry pick, cherry pick, cherry pick. I can sit there and agree with you, agree with you, agree with you. I agree with everything you said that I caught on your scope today. I agree with that. That I've actually argued with people. I have this much passion when I'm arguing with people when they say that illegals, if they get a driver's license, they can go get food stamps and welfare and blah 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 blah. That's a bunch of bull. They have to be here legally to get any benefits. And actually, when they're permanent residents and they sign to be here legally, they sign a paper saying that as a last resort, they will take benefits. Hi, Dragon's Law. Is Dragon's Law in here? Oh, I just got a note from Dragon's Law. That was nice of you, Dragon's Law. Thank you. Anyway, so to call me prejudiced, let me tell you something else about how prejudiced I am, you jerks. Um, my son-in-law committed suicide partially because he was one of those dream kids. He was one of those kids that his parents brought him over here when he was a little bitty baby. I think he was like 16 months old or something like that when his parents brought him here from Mexico. He's never in his life, and he was, how old was he? He's been gone now for 11 years, so it's been a while, but I think he was 20, I want to say he was 25. He was 23 or 25, okay, when he killed himself. And part of the reason was because um, they told him when he went to go apply for his papers and everything, that he would have to re-enter the country legally, and he may have to go to Mexico and stay there for a year, up to a year. They said at that time. That was 11 years ago. Okay, they told him at that time that he would have to go there and possibly stay in Mexico for up to a year and re-enter the country legally. Do you know how that scared that kid? I mean, he doesn't even have any family left in Mexico that lives there. Like some distant family that he's never met, but he didn't even have any family uh, that he knew that lived in Mexico. So, what do you mean he has to go back to Mexico? The only country this kid knows in his whole life is America, is the United States. That's the only country that he knows. I'm sorry, Diane. I'm just ranting and ranting and ranting. I'm not paying attention to the side chat at all. I see you over there talking and I really appreciate it. You too, Jan. Thank you. And I will go back and read this, but I'm kind of on a rant right now. But anyway, so that played a huge part of why my son-in-law killed himself, because he was actually terrified of going. He came over here when my daughter and I went to Wichita one weekend to go help my mom do some stuff. And while we were gone, my son-in-law came over here and talked to my husband and told him this stuff. That's why I know this for sure. And 3 days later, he was dead. He killed himself. Okay, and he told my husband that night that he was actually thinking about killing himself. Well, I went into her scope, and I don't know why it makes me so angry. Not angry, but I don't know why that I care so much about what Carla thinks of me, because she's obviously already made up her mind about me. And so has Shauna and, some of those other people, but that kind of pisses me off too. Hi, hipster, because I'm an individual who has my own mind. I don't like being kicked out of somewhere just because I'm friends with somebody else that they don't like. I don't do that to people. I don't take all of those people and group them all together and think that they're all the same. I don't do that. Hi, Missy. Hi, Missy. Hi, hipster. Hi, Ace. Um, and see, that was another thing. And like I said, I didn't get to watch the whole scope because I was out doing some stuff after work today. I was getting me a couple new projects to work on, actually. But anyway, um, I'm planning on doing a lot of renovating this weekend. I'm going to renovate my camper. I'm going to renovate maybe a room or two in my house. I'm not going to get crazy and think I can do it all because I'm not. I can't. But I want to have some stuff to do this weekend. So one of the things that I love to do is go to Goodwill and garage sales and stuff like that, and I find pieces wood, most of the time they're wood, but I am kind of getting into a few metal pieces. Selected. I'll do a hangout about those sometime and show you some of my projects that I'm working on and that I've already gotten done. But I like to go like get really cool mirrors, like decent sized mirrors that have like carving and stuff like that in the woodwork. And it doesn't matter to me what color it is because I'm going to paint it anyway, you know. And I am a decorative artist, so sometimes I paint things on them, and other times I just my new thing that I've really kind of starting to really like the look of is white and distressed. So I'll go buy this cool mirror. I'm sorry, Missy. I didn't see one. I didn't see what you said. I'm still. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not paying attention to the side chat. And evidently, this is what happened last night when Carla was in here too. She said I didn't defend her. I really start talking. Number one, I have bad eyes and I hate to wear glasses, and I should wear glasses when I'm doing a hangout so that I can see better. That's correct. I love to thrift. Anyway, yeah, hipster. That's my thing. Is I like to go because I see the possibilities. Like I don't see things the way that they are. They can be an old beat up, scratched up dresser or something like that, and I know what I can do with it. So I'm into that kind of stuff. But I'm also into like like I want to go through my house. I mean, my house is so busy. It's just crazy. There's a lot of things that mean a lot to me. But anyway, yeah. So am I done ranting about how prejudiced I am? There was another thing. Oh, about that was the other thing that they were that I was prejudiced about is because I said that I didn't agree with my taxes paying special teachers to teach kids English. I think that should be their parents' responsibility. I think those kids should be in school. Absolutely, 100%. They should be in school, and I think they should get an education. I think that they should have all of the chances that our kids have. I absolutely 100% think that. That, just because their parents are illegal or whatever, that's not their fault. Just the same that it wasn't my son-in-law's fault that he was illegal. It wasn't a bit. And you know what? That kid worked from the time he was 15 years old. I don't know where his parents got his documentation for him to work, but he worked from the time he was 15 years old until he died. And when he died, my daughter couldn't even get Social Security because he wasn't legal. So she couldn't get Social Security for my grandson because her husband wasn't legal. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it would have, I don't know how I feel about that because it sure would have and would to this day because he's 13 now, the boy, my grandson is. It sure would have helped my daughter many, many times to have that little bit of income, you know, to just help her along because she's done it all by herself. And I'm very proud of her too. She's done it all by herself. But to call me prejudiced because I mean, everybody has their things that make them angry. It doesn't really have anything to do with me being prejudiced because I don't feel like I am being prejudiced when I say that I don't think it's right for, and I'm not, it's not something that I want to activate or I'm going to go march in a line or, hold signs up and do a march or, nothing like that. It's just, come on. People wouldn't talk about people so much if they didn't make those kinds of strains on, I don't know. But Carla is 100% correct that illegal people cannot get benefits like welfare and uh, what do they call it, food stamps or food card or whatever it is, and they can't get that because they're not legal. They don't have the they can't get it. They won't give it to them. So when people say that, oh, they just come over here and get welfare and get this and get that, no, they don't. Carla's right. They do want to come over here and work. They just want to come over here and make some money. You have no idea what it's like to live over there. It's horrible conditions some of these people live in. You know, my husband has seen. I mean, like I'll just give you another example from our own lives. My husband's father was in a car accident. My husband's the only one over here. All of his brothers and sisters and everybody is still in Mexico. And they don't even want to come here because now they have jobs. Things are a little bit different for them. That if they go to the border, like they live. My husband's brothers and sisters, a lot of them live in Juarez now because there's a lot of plants there, like manufacturing plants there. So there's a little bit, they have a few more possibilities now to support their families. But that's not the way it used to be over there. If your family didn't have a business of some sort, you can just go to Walmart and get a job or go to Kentucky Fried Chicken or McDonald's or what. They don't have that kind of stuff over there in their little villages that they come from. That's not possibilities for them. But what I was going to tell you about my father-in-law was in a car accident and he went to the hospital. And his leg was all broke up and bones hanging out of it and tendons hanging out of it and everything else. And they wouldn't treat that man until he had the cash. So their hospitals don't work like ours do over there either. I could tell you so many stories that I know about the corruption of their own government and stuff like that. That's not what I'm here to do. I absolutely love Mexican people with all my heart. And I have just as many Mexican friends as I do white or black or any other color. I don't know anything about that, Holly. I don't know about whether they get WIC, and I think it's WIC. Uh, I don't I don't know whether they can get WIC or not. But you know what? If they do, it's for their babies. It's not like, you're going to get some peanut butter and some milk and stuff like that and go sell it on the black market. You know, um, we send money to other countries all the time. You know, I mean, I don't know. I don't have a problem with feeding or educating children. I don't have a problem with that at all whatsoever. I don't have a problem with anything. I personally had a problem because my kids didn't get to go to Head Start. That was my personal problem. It's not anything I intend to do anything about because evidently somebody wrote it into a law that it's supposed to be that way. But it personally pissed me off because my kids didn't get to go. So take that however the hell you want to. And I'm just talking with my filthy mouth tonight. I don't talk like this. You people know me, you know I don't. But that makes me so angry. Call me prejudiced? Are you kidding me right now? Shoot. That's one of the reasons I was going to ask Carla how old you are because um, I've I've been with a Mexican for 34 years. So I feel like part of me is Mexican, and I have fought the fight for my husband. I could. They did a whole write up about me in Wichita with my ex husband when he went in to go get his driver's license. The Wichita Eagle, it used to be called the Wichita Eagle and Beacon, did a whole write up about me because I went in and fought for my husband to get his driver's license. I'm not going to go into any more details about that, but trust me. And that was about 34 years ago. Okay. I live in Kansas, Missy. I live in Emporia, Kansas. So I'm right in the middle of Kansas City, Topeka, and Wichita. Yeah. If you're in Kansas City, Kansas, then you just we're in 5 or 10 minutes. I'm not 35. Anyway, um, I'm from Wichita, though. That's where I was raised, but I've been here in Emporia for 31 years. Yep, 31 years I've been here in Emporia. I don't even care. I don't, like I said, I don't even know why I care so much that car. I think I told Lindy last night. I told her, I said, you got to admit the girl's funny as hell. I told Lindy this in a text last night. she kind of said, well, she's always after me, so I don't get to see that side of her. I think that's how Lindy kind of feels about it. That and I know how Lindy feels now because they're doing that to me too. They're just because I'm friends with Lindy. I'm friends with a lot of people. I'm friends with a lot of people on here. Lindy is one of my friends. And yes, I do feel especially close to Lindy because of the things that her and I've been through together, because of things partially what we've done to each other and overcome, and I think that's made our friendship a little stronger because of that, maybe. But I'm still honest with Lindy all the time, and I try to be honest with everyone. Actually, I don't ever try to lie about anything. Um, Maybe I even tell too much about myself sometimes. Like I just sat here. Everybody knows I live in Emporia, Kansas, and my name is Debbie Areola. That's my real name. You can look me up. You can look up my police record. I don't have one. So go ahead. I've got speeding tickets and stuff like that. The last one I got was like 9 or 10 years ago. But I'm just myself, and I don't have to think just like my friends do. I mean, I have three best friends in real life that I have been best friends with for over 40 years. Okay? The reason that I don't have best friends from my little bitty childhood is because we moved around so much when I was a kid. That's another story of my life that I don't feel like going into now. But I never even went to the same elementary school 2 years in a row that I remember. We moved and moved and moved and moved. But anyway, but my best friends and I have been best friends for one of them 43 years. Yeah, since 43 years, my best friend and I have been best friends, and we still text. We don't necessarily talk on the phone every day anymore, but we do touch base every single day, and we text. And she lives in Arkansas. And it's not Lindy. This is somebody I grew up with. We grew up together in Wichita, but she lives in Arkansas now. And my other best friend lives about an hour from me in another little tiny town in Kansas. And my other best friend has a Mexican restaurant in another little tiny town in Kansas. But we all grew up together in Wichita. And we weren't all friends. That's another thing, too. My three best friends, they all know each other because of me, but they're not all friends. They're not all friends with each other. I'm very capable of being friends, a real friend to somebody, and not have to interfere with my other friends' lives. I don't understand why people can't grow up and realize you can do that. Thanks, Jan. Anyway, so yeah, my husband is a real Mexican. He's a real cowboy too. Yeah, he's a real cowboy, just like John Travolta in the movie Urban Cowboy. He's a real cowboy. He grew up on a horse ranch. His uncle had a horse ranch, and from the time I don't know, I'll have to ask him how old he was, but he was pretty young, like 11 or something like that. He would go to work up in the mountains on his uncle's horse ranch. And to this day, I hope he doesn't do it this time because he really is slowing down physically. But to this day, anytime he goes to Mexico, they always have him break the horse. And he only goes to Mexico like every that far down into Mexico to his mom's house. He only goes there every 2 or 3 years. But I hope I'm kind of scared about that because he's not that there's anything wrong with his physical condition, but he's an old man now. I don't want him over there breaking horses. I've seen him do it. It's hard. It's hard on the body. It's hard on the horse, the way that they do it. Anyway, so yeah, my husband is a real Mexican and he's a real cowboy. And I don't give a crap who gets mad at me for saying that. Like I said, it's kind of partially sarcasm and kind of it's for real too, but it's I don't even know how to explain it. But it's not because anybody else is less than a Mexican than he is. That's not what I mean. And why would you assume that? I'm not even going to defend myself about this anymore. This is going to be it. I'm not. I'm not even going to defend myself about it anymore. But Carla, that's jacked up, man. It's jacked up. I rubbed one out. I told the border guards to shoot the Mexicans in their legs if they try to get in. What? So I can't even watch the national news. I don't want all this. What's going on in Washington right now and in the United States right now, and our government is just as nitpicky and gossipy and full of crap as all this YouTube crap. It's just, I can't. Well, the Republicans think that the Democrats are just pissed off because Hillary didn't get voted into office. I'm telling you that this last presidential election, is the only election that I've ever lived through that since I've been old enough to vote that I did not vote. Because I didn't feel like I had anything decent to vote for. So call me un-American or whatever. Now somebody's going to say I'm un-American for not voting, blah, 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 long. I didn't want to vote for Hillary. I didn't want to vote for Trump. I don't support either one of them. I don't want to get behind either one of them. They don't have my support. I did not vote for either one of them. I didn't vote. Call me an American. I didn't vote. I didn't feel like I had anyone to vote for. So when the Republicans want to say that the Democrats are just all mad because Hillary didn't get voted in office, that's not necessarily true. I'm sure there's a lot of other people like me out there that just didn't vote because how are you going to stand behind either one of those candidates? I couldn't. But no, I don't believe in shooting people for trying. Oh my gosh. Seriously, somebody. I've seen people the way that they live over there, and I've seen. I can't get into all of it. I really can't. But I absolutely 1000% understand why they try to come over here. They shouldn't bring their kids, though. I mean, not knowing what's going on at the border, they shouldn't bring their kids. Not, they don't deserve what happens to their kids, and their kids don't deserve what happens to them. You know, when they get separated and put them in those things and all that. Oh gosh, that just breaks my heart. I can't. I cannot. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here because I do need to go cook, and I'm yeah, it's getting late. Good night. It's almost 6:30 here. Well, Missy, what do you do? What I mean, how old are you? And I don't usually go. I don't go to Kansas City much except to fly. I fly out of Kansas City usually because it's usually cheaper than Wichita. But I mean, I'm like almost right in the middle of Kansas City and Wichita. I'm almost right in the middle, so I could go either way to fly, and I do. But when I fly, I always check both airports, and it's been a little bit cheaper lately to fly. Cheaper than it used to be to fly out of Wichita, but it's still almost always cheaper to fly out of Kansas City. Order pizza. Yeah, I'm married to a real Mexican. Well, rub one out, Rosie. We cook. He's an old fat, and when I say a real Mexican too, here's what I mean too. He really is old school Mexican. Like, he's getting better all the time. We've been together for a long time, so we've gotten used to each other. But I don't mind some of his. Hi, David Guns. Who are you hiding from, David Guns? Okay. Okay. I won't say nothing else to you, David Guns. Okay. All right, David. David Guns. Okay. David. David. David Guns. Um. But yeah, I mean, we do things traditionally for the most part. And a traditional Mexican household is the way that we normally kind of do things. It's too late. I'm sorry. Sorry, David Guns. Sorry. David Guns, I'm sorry. Who's coming for you? Oh my gosh. Um, like, just I don't even I don't even know. But one of the things that we do as a traditional Hispanic family, I guess. I mean, that kind of feels weird calling myself that because I'm not. But like I said, we do things kind of pretty much like other Hispanic families do. Like I do most of the cooking and most of the housework, and he does have the outside stuff and um, works on our cars, and he can fix. I'll tell you something absolutely awesome about having a real Mexican husband that came from Mexico and maybe from everywhere, but this is what I've learned is that this guy can fix almost anything from stuff in the house to our cars, and he will always attempt it before we call somebody. We've only had to call somebody to do, well, like get our heating. We had to buy a new furnace last year, so we had to call somebody for that. Um, that kind of stuff, and there was some kind of lower ball joint or something like that on my truck that had to be fixed last year. And so we took it to a shop to have that done. My husband watched videos, but he said, "Oh, I don't really want to try that one." So, but that's pretty much the only thing we ever take our cars to mechanics for. It's getting harder and harder though with computer cars for him to keep working on them. Oh yeah, he rebuilt my entire bathroom. He took the old bathtub out of there and made me a walk-in shower that's all tiled, and he tiled the whole floor in there. He did that all for me as a surprise before I came back from Washington D.C. when I was there with my daughter. I love that shower. And man, oh man, have I been glad so many times. I mean, I've broken my foot. I think I broke my ankle too. Twice. I would have had a really hard time. I can't remember exactly why at this point, but I would have had a really hard time getting in and out of that bathtub shower thing that we used to have because it was high too. All joints are a big job. Yeah. Yeah, he watched the video, but you needed some special tools and something else. I don't even know. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend that I know anything about cars because I don't. But that was one of the only things that we've ever taken our car. Heck, he even just put a new motor in his Suburban last year by himself. Mm-hmm. All joints. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But David, did you know that I'm prejudiced against Mexicans? In case you didn't know, I want you to know now. Anyway, Carla, I still, I don't get it. I don't get it, but I guess I'm not going to care so much what you think of me anymore because I'm not going to ever kiss anyone's ass to try to be their friend. I'm just not. Well, Chandra and all them, and Carla and all them said I'm prejudiced. So. Anyway, kids, I'm gonna go. I think my husband's home again. I like to sit here listen to me yak 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 on when he's home. So, and I gotta go cook supper, or he'll beat me. He'll beat me. Last night when I was on here, he threatened to take his belt off right in front of everybody. All right, see y'all later. Have a great evening, everybody.